Hello students, how are you all? I think everyone is fine and safe with your family members. Can you remember what we learnt in previous class? Yes, right students, we learnt about paragraph tag, image tag and adding sound in HTML. A follow-up work is given based on the topics I think everyone has done. In today's class, we are going to start a new lesson, that is Introduction to C language. Let's have a small introduction on C. C is a structured programming language. It was developed by M. Ritchie in the year 1972. Software developed in C can be system software as well as application software, and C is called as middle level language. C is a structured programming language. It was developed in the year 1972 by M. Ritchie. Software developed in C can be system software as well as application software, and hence it is called as middle level language. Let's learn the structure of C programming. It has header files, main function, open curly braces, declaring variables and statements. Header files is used as library files. Main function is a special function. Open curly braces, it is a parameter which usually follows the main function. Declaring variables, it is a declaration of data types and variables. Statement 1, semicolon, and several statements can be included and ends with statements n semicolon. That is, it is a input, output and process statements. This is a structure of C programming. It has header files, main function, open curly braces, statements and declaring variables. In C program, all the statements are terminated with a semicolon except in some statements. In C program, all the statements are used with a semicolon except in some of the statements. Can you see the image of the semicolon? Yes, this is the image of semicolon. Header files. Header files are built-in C files which contain the declarations of the most commonly used input-output functions. Without the header files, the program does not execute. Header files invoke the respective library files during the program execution. Header files are built-in C files which contains the declaration of the most commonly used input-output functions. Without the header files, a program cannot be executed. Header files invoke the respective library files during the execution of the program. Different header files are used for different purposes like studio.h, standard, that is standard input output, that is for input output functions, math.h for mathematical function, studio.h is used for input output functions, and math.h is used for mathematical functions. All the header files have the extension .h. Main function. Main function is the heart of the program. Without main function, it is difficult to write the C program. While executing the program, the compiler first starts to execute the main function. After that only, the remaining parts of program will execute. The main function should not end with semicolon. Main function is the heart of the program. Without a main function, it is difficult to write the C program. While executing the program, the compiler first starts to execute the main function. After that, only the remaining parts of program will execute. The main function should not end with a semicolon. Next topic we are going to learn is variable in C language. Variables in C. Variable is a storage location which contains a value or information. It is a storage location which contains a information or a value. Variable name is used to refer the stored value in different storage location. It is used to refer the stored value in the different storage location. There are some rules for variables. The first rule is it should begin with an alphabet. The second rule is the second and the succeeding character can be a number or a letter. The second character can be a number or a letter. No special characters are allowed except underscores. Except underscores, no special characters are allowed in variables. The maximum length of a variable name is 31 characters. The maximum length of a variable name is, yes, 31 characters. No reserved words or keywords are allowed in a variable name. Next is constant in C. Constant are data whose values cannot be modified during execution of the program. Normally, the value which is assigned to a variable is called constant. Constants are data whose value it cannot be modified during the execution of the program. Normally, the value which is assigned to a variable is called constant. The value which is assigned to a variable is called constant. It cannot be modified during the execution of the program. A constant can be a number like 21 or 2 and 6, a character like A or ampersand, a character like, this is a constant which starts with a double quotation and ends with double quotation marks, a number like 21 or 2 and 6, a character like A or ampersand, a character string like, this is a constant. Constants are classified into two types, numeric constant and character constant. Numeric constant are classified into integer constant and real constant. Character constant are classified into string character constant and single character constant. Note the difference. One is string character constant and the another one is single character constant. Example for integer constant can be 10, 0, minus 20. Example for real constant can be 786, 0.0, minus 12.07. Example for single character constant can be single quotation with A, 2. Example for string character constant can be hello, 143 hit@gmail.com, which starts and ends with double quotation, whereas single character constant starts and ends with single quotation marks. Next is declaration in C. Declaration specifies a data type and it can contain one or more than one variables of that type. All variables must be declared at the beginning of the program before they are used. The general form of declaration is data type variable. Declaration specifies a data type and it can contain one or more than one variables of that type. All variables must be declared at the beginning of the program before they are used. Variables must be declared at the beginning of the program before they are used in. The general form of declaration is data type variable. Example: int age, semicolon, float weight, semicolon, character gender, semicolon. In these examples, age, weight and gender are variables which are declared as integer data type, floating data type and character data type respectively. Age, weight and gender are variables which are declared as integer, floating data type and character data type. Next topic we are going to learn is data types in C. Data types are used to declare different types of variables in the program. They are declared at the beginning of the program. Data types are used to declare different types of variable in the program. It is declared at the beginning of the program. Data types are declared at the beginning of the program. Data types are classified into three types: primary data type, derived data type and user defined data type. Data types are classified into how many types, students? Yes, three types: primary data type, derived data type and user defined data type. Data types in C: primary data type, user defined data type, derived data type. Primary data type is classified into character, float, integer and void. User defined data type is classified into enum and type definition. Derived data type is classified into pointers, arrays, structures and union. In the primary data type, character type is classified into signed and unsigned. Float data type is classified into float, double and long double. Integer is classified into integer, long integer, unsigned long integer, long integer, unsigned long integer, short integer, unsigned short integer and finally void. Primary data types are classified into character, float, integer, void. User defined data type is classified into enum and type definition. Derived data type is classified into pointers, arrays, structures and union. The data type int have four qualifiers. They are short signed int, short unsigned int, long signed int and short int. Int is nothing but integer. There are two qualifiers in character data type, namely signed character and unsigned character. Double and long double are the two qualifiers for the double data type. Can you see the table? One side is data types. In the middle you can see the limitation of the data type. At the right side you can see the bytes occupied. For short integer, short sign integer, you can see the limitation values. The bytes occupied here is 2. For short unsigned integer, the limitation is 0 to 65,535. The bytes occupied is 2. Long signed integer, you can see the limitation values. It starts with negative 2147483648 plus 2147483647. The bytes occupied here is 4. Signed character minus 128 plus 127, that is 127. Bytes occupied here is 1. Unsigned character limitation is 0 to 255 and the bytes occupied here is 1. Float minus 3.4E382 plus 3.4E38. The bytes occupied here is 4. Double minus 1.7E308 2 plus 1.7E308. Bytes occupied here is 8. Long double, the limitation is minus 1.7E4932 2 plus 1.7E4932. Bytes occupied here is 10. These are the data types, limitation and bytes occupied. Learn this tabular column. It can be asked as 1 marks. Next, we are going to learn about modifiers. The storage of data in any data type can be altered by using modifiers. Modifiers are classified into 4 types. The storage of data in any data type can be changed or altered using modifiers. It is classified into 4 types: short, long, signed and unsigned. What are the 4 types of modifiers in C? Short, long, signed and unsigned. Next is format specifier. Format specifiers are the individual composite symbols, also known as conversion specification, which represent data types. These strings also define how the input data is to be interpreted internally. These symbols are otherwise called as control variables. Format specifiers are the individual composite symbols, also known as conversion specification, which represent data types. These strings also define how the input data is to be interpreted internally. It is otherwise called as control variables. Can you see the tabular column? One side is control variable string and another side is meaning. Modulus D, the meaning of is integer. Modulus F, the meaning is float. Modulus C represents single character. modulus S represents string. Modulus LF represents double. Modulus capital LF represents long double. Modulus LD represents long signed integer. Modulus U represents unsigned integer. Modulus X represents unsigned hexadecimal. Modulus E represents scientific notation. Modulus P represents pointer. Modulus O represents octal value. These are the meaning of the control variable strings. Next is escape sequence. These are the characters that perform special functions other than producing text, such as advancing a new line, horizontal tabulation, etc. These are the character combination, that is backslash followed by some characters. Escape sequence are the characters that perform special functions other than producing text, such as advancing a new line, horizontal tabulation, etc. These are the character combinations, that is backslash followed by some characters. Backslash N represents new line character. Backslash V represents vertical tabulation. Backslash F represents form feed. Backslash double quotation represents double quotation marks. Backslash R represents carriage return. Backslash 0 represents null. Backslash H represents hexadecimal representation. Backslash T represents horizontal tabulation. Backslash represents to beep the speaker. Backslash single quotation represents single quotation mark. Backslash question mark represents question mark. Backslash B represents backspace. Backslash 0 NN represents octal representation. Backslash UH that is 4H represents Unicode character. These are some of the escape sequence characters. Next topic we are going to learn is command line. Command line is used for describing what the code is doing in a C program. This line provides readability to the programmer. Between these characters, any message can be included either in uppercase or in lowercase. The compiler usually ignores them. Command line is used for describing what the code is doing in a C program. This line provides readability to the programmer. Between these characters, any message can be included either in uppercase or in lowercase. The compiler usually ignores them. These lines are generally used to give a clear understanding of a program. Commands may appear anywhere in the program, and there can be any number of command lines in a C program. These lines are generally used to give a clear understanding of a program. Commands may appear anywhere in the program, and there can be any number of command lines in a C programs. There can be any number of command lines in a C program. Next is we are going to learn about C keywords. Auto, double, int, struct, break, else, long, switch, case, enum, register, type definition, character, extern, return, union, continue, for, signed, void, do, if, static, while, default, goto, size of, volatile, constant, float, short, unsigned. These are the C keywords. In today's class, we learnt about structure of C programming, header files, main function, constants, variables, and declaration in C. Data types in C, modifiers, escape sequence, command line, and C keywords. These are the topics we learned in today's class. Next is your favorite homework. Write about data types in C in your rough notebook. I had given you only one question, so learn and write data types in C in your rough notebook. Thank you, students. See you in next class. Do the follow-up work given to you.